Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Snooker Audio Live on Sunday morning. This time it's the final. John Higgins versus Yize. Sorry for the late start. For anyone that was waiting for this stream, these Chinese events are a bit of a killer, really. All the other rounds started at 6:30 in the morning, and this one and the previous semi-final started at 6 in the morning, which doesn't really help me because I have to get up early and get organised. So anyway, here we are back online again, and so the match started at 6. Yize taking a 2-0 lead, it would seem. Higgins now in play in the third frame, making on a break by the looks of things. Break goes to 100, so one red left, so he's taken this frame out in what appears to be one visit. So I'm just trying to get a few things set up in the background. So Higgins just clearing up now, I think, although I'm not entirely sure whether this stream is running at the moment. Yep, actually it is running, so we're back online. So you might be able to hear some background noise on this channel this morning. So just listening back to some of the earlier broadcasts, I think it sounds a bit weird when I stop speaking because there's absolute silence. So maybe people browsing YouTube just happening on this channel might hit a sort of a patch of silence and wonder if there's anything happening or not. So what I've done this time is I've got a sort of a background track running of some random crowd noise which I found off the internet, this isn't the sound from the actual match. This is just some can noise I put in the background just to have something there when I'm not speaking. So hopefully that'll work, but if it doesn't, then we can always try something else. So Higgins has just cleared up, it would seem, in that match, in that frame rather, so he gets one back. We're now leading 2 frames to 1. So I'm just going to pop onto World Snooker to see if I can get any more information on what's happened so far. So looks like we've had a couple of good breaks in the first 2 frames, an 86 and a 62. But Higgins has responded with what looks to have been a big break. Although I can't really tell from the World Snooker output until it refreshes. Looks like a sizable contribution. So anyway, referee racking the balls up for the last frame before mid-sesh. So this morning's crowd report is that there's a few in. Might be 2 or 3 more than previous matches I've looked at, but there's still only, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 people in the main sort of seating area behind the table at the bulk end, so very strange. Anyway, I'm sure there are billions watching on TV, so that's probably fine. So referee places the pink just above the black spot, above the pack rather. So just going on to snooker.org now, let's have a look at the head-to-heads. So So looks like they've only played once before, and that was 5 years ago at the Six Red World Championship, actually twice before. So they played twice in 2019. Higgins winning 6-4 at the Six Red World Championship and 6-5 at the International Championship. So this tournament 6 years ago. So they've played before and they've been quite close. So I suspect this might be another similar game. So Higgins breaks off down the right hand side of the table. Ball coming back across onto the bulk cushion behind the yellow. Knocked out 5 reds from the pack. Yize straight down, plays the dump shot. White on the, well, he's tried to play the white on the top cushion, but he's a few inches away from it. So Higgins has got a straightforward safety shot. He's trying to see if there's any sort of plant or a red into the left hand centre, but it looks pretty sewn up from here, so probably a safety from Higgins. So Higgins just playing well. He's picked out a red into the bulk left hand pocket and he's missed it, and he's dropped his head, and the reason he's dropped his head is because he's left Wu choice of reds into this left hand top pocket. A couple of middle distance red. White is just the bulk side of the blue, and there are 3 reds lining up into that left hand top pocket. The black does go into that right hand top pocket, but there's a red just above it, so he might have to do a bit of work to get on something, unless he can get low on this black. So let's see what he does here. He powers it in, tries to come back up for the what looks to be the pink, so the pink must pass the reds into the right hand top pocket. So Wu straight down. I'll slot this pink in and just leave himself nicely on that red above the black I mentioned earlier, but he's not happy with that. He's left the white far too close to this right hand side cushion, so he's still got a shot on it, but it's going to be a little bit tricky now, especially with that red being so close to the black. I'm not sure what sort of cannon he's going to get afterwards, so things in the balance here. The referee is re-spotting the pink behind the pack because it doesn't go on its own spot. Just watching an overhead shot of the referee trying to get the pink as close as he can to that red at the bottom of the pack, and now he's cleaned the white. So let's see what Wu can do with this red just above the black on its spot. Just looking to see if there's a plant or something. Yeah, it looks like it could be. In fact, looks like he's going to change his mind and play the plant rather than the red. Although, no, he's not. Right, so I'm not sure what he's looking at. Maybe he's looking at the pink to see if the pink goes. Or maybe, no, he's looking at the plant. It's not set at all. It's at least 2 or 3 inches from being set, so, oh well, he's going to go for it. Hitting down the white on the right hand side cushion, trying to make an optimistic plant. Oh, well, he's missed that by a mile. I mean, that was a tough shot at the best of times. So he's left the white at the top end as well. He's left the red just above the black spot, which is the one I thought he was going to play earlier. So Higgins now is going to take this on. So he slots it in. Oh, Don't believe what I'm seeing. He's missed it. He's missed a routine shot on that red above the black spot into the left-hand top pocket. It's staggering miss. So now Wu's back in. He's slightly hampered by the black on the side cushion. Again, going for the same red that Higgins missed. Has sort of come back to a similar position near the black spot. He's having to think about this one. Slightly hampered here, so awkward. And he's got it. So he's come back up for the pink at the bottom of the pack that referee replaced earlier, but he's left the white near the black on the side cushion, so he's hampered again. So let me just quickly update the score on the stream while Wu thinks about this one. It's a very tough pink. If he wants to take this on, so he could have a go at it though, getting over the black. Just have to roll it in, I think, for the next red, so worth taking on. And that looks nicely played. So he's now on a red on the right hand side of the table, going into the top right hand pocket with the pink on the black spot. So he's in a very good position again. Slots that in, low pink into the left hand top pocket coming up. Red's not tightly packed, but there's only maybe one that's obviously potable into the left hand top pocket. They might disturb them. Yeah, he's fired the white into the back of the bunch, but not much has come out. But he is on a red on the left hand top pocket, but now the pink spot looks like it. Pink spot might have been freed up, so the referee's now trying to slot the pink in, which is no mean feat as it's surrounded by 4 reds. And that was a bit of a tactical mistake really from Wu, because in going to the bunch he's freed the pink spot, which means he's tied the pink up. Anyway, he's back at the table playing on this red into the left hand top pocket, which he slots in. White coming back up nicely for the blue, which he's on the right side of. So 2 reds in bulk. We were electing to play a straight yellow into the left hand bulk pocket to play on one of those. She slots in nicely. So 24 in front now, 2 frames to 1 up as well. Last frame before mid-sesh. So Wu with the rest out. He's only a few inches away from this red into the bulk left hand pocket. So this should be a formality. Maybe a little soft screw back for bulk, choice of bulk colours into the right hand bulk pocket. Out comes the extension. Has a good squint at it. Not sure what he's looking at, but looks pretty routine, although it is a bit of a stretch. So let's see what he does with this. So he pots it, screws it back, and he's, well, so the white's gone sideways and has clattered the blue from behind off its spot, and he's not really on anything easy. He's got a thin cut on the yellow, possibly a long brown into the top right hand pocket, but he's only a few inches away and not straight, so that's a tricky shot. However, he looks fairly nonplussed about it, so he's going to just get down and play this brown. So long brown from its near its spot, all the way down into the top right hand pocket. He sends it on its way, measures the black, and slots it nicely in, bringing the white down to the top end. But choice of reds into the right hand top pocket. Played that nicely. You know a player's confident when they don't hesitate on shots like that. Wu looks $1 million at the moment, really. He's potting everything. He looks confident. Doesn't seem fussed at all. He's playing John Higgins. Looks to be enjoying his game. Looks relaxed. So he's finished on a straight blue into the right hand centre bag. Just needs to follow through a few inches for choice of reds. Choice of 2 reds into the left hand top pocket. So these are sort of middle distance reds here, so white just above the blue. Playing this red on near the pink. Slots it in, plain ball. And he's trying to get the white back up to the blue, and he's just about made it. So he's on the right side. Have a look at the plant. Maybe having a look to see if a red passes the pink up the top of the back. Crouching down, having a look from the pocket side. Anyway, he's decided he's just going to play the blue into the centre, roll it on and off the side cushion, back up for either the red that might pass the pink or a red that definitely passes into the left hand top pocket. So which one is he going to take on? So he's going to take on the straightforward one. Looks like he's going to need to come back up for blue again. Slots that in. Is he right side again? Yeah, he's played that lovely. Touch the right hand side, just pings it off the rail. No pace in the ball, just widens the angle enough to leave him right side of the blue. So he's now 42 points in front as he takes his blue. And now playing on that red at the top of the bunch. Obviously convinced that it's going to pass the pink into that left hand top pocket. Has another look at it. Looks from this angle that it's fairly straightforward, but you can never tell looking on the TV. Yeah, plenty of room, middle of the pocket, slots that in, but he's now slightly the wrong, he's quite straight on this blue and slightly the wrong side, so there is a red in the bulk end toward the left hand side cushion, so he could play on that by just screwing back. Which is what he does, screws back off the left hand side cushion for a red into the left hand bulk pocket, but he's a bit short, which means he's now got a cut back into a blind pocket. So this is a bit of a tester. We'll play this with a trace of right hand side. Nothing to do with the white really. Lots of bulk colours to play for, so need some care though this shot. And he slotted it in, didn't even touch the sides. The white's come across just above the bulk line to the right of the green off the spot, so still in a good position. So there are 5 reds left, and he's already 54 in front, so maybe a red in the colour and maybe another red to zip this frame up. Slots in green, comes down the table. So there might be a plant in there actually. Yeah, so he's going to try another plant. The last plant he went for didn't go well, so this one has to be made as well, so let's see if he can get this one. Although this is a bit of a risk, because if he misses he's going to spread the reds around, and Higgins is there ready for his classic counter clearance. Yeah, well he's got it. He's got the he's got the red, so there's 59 left, and he's 58 in front. So he needs this. So the white's finished just below the black spot, but there's a pink in the left-hand centre that's fairly close to the left-hand middle pocket. So he just needs to stroke this in to win the frame, and he's got it. So we go 64 in front with 59 left. The white has gone all the way into bulk, but there's a red over the left-hand top pocket which he can play. Would like this in to sew it up, and he nails that as well. So that is definitely 3-1 to Wu at the interval. Slots in the brown into the left centre, just to mop up what's left. So this final best of 19, so first to 10. Wu is now 3 frames to 1 in front, as he just clears up the rest of these balls. So he's on a break here. I'm not sure how he is to see what the break is, because they don't show it on the graphic on the TV, which is slightly annoying, and I'm not clever enough to be able to count as he's making this break, so he must be on 80 or 90 maybe. What does World Snooker say? Oh, he's on a break of 85, okay. So it looks like he can finish off with a century. While they go and have their mid-sesh tea and possibly a biscuit. So we're mopping up the colours now. Yellow hits the back of the pocket. So interestingly, it looks like the World Snooker scoring stream is ahead of the video, which might be slightly annoying if you're following along on that as well. So on the screen, Wu's teeing up for the brown, but according to the scoring, he's already just spotted the pink, so slightly odd. Anyway, Wu slots in the brown and the blue on the TV, slots in the pink. Break goes to 101. There we go. Fantastic break from Yize there, and they go off for their cup of tea. So Wu looks in control of this match, although Higgins hasn't really done a lot wrong. So anyway, it's mid-session time, so I'm going to pop off and get myself a mid-morning, early morning cup of coffee. And I will join you again in 20 minutes or so. Hello, welcome back. The eagle-eyed among you will notice I had the scores wrong during the mid-sesh, so which I've now corrected. So Wu is 3-1 ahead of Higgins. Wu's just broken off. Higgins playing a safety return from bulk. Looks like a straightforward clip off a red off the right-hand side of the pack, which he does, but he's hit the brown full ball on the way back. So he's left Wu a choice of maybe a couple of long distance reds if he fancies it. So Wu's not been shy in taking shots on in this match so far. So he's going to have a go at this one. It's not quite sure where the safety is though. He might be able to steer it round behind the pack. So white's in the D. Let's see how he gets on with this one. Oh, he absolutely nails it into the pocket. White clatters into the side of the bunch. But he's not on anything. So the white... Oh, wow. So the pink goes in the centre. Wow, what a bonus. So we've got incredibly fortunate there. He's managed to somehow find a path to the pink in the right-hand middle pocket. So he's just stroked that in, and now he's got a great chance. So there's... looks like there's 5 or 6 reds that are in the open. He's on a red into the middle pocket. Not sure if he's got the angle to... in the left-hand middle pocket. Not sure if he's got the angle to get back on the blue. Black does go into the left-hand top pocket. He could play for that. So he strokes in the red. White on and off the cushion. Tries to play a precise... oh, he's played that superbly. No margin for error there, and he's just played the white on and off the left-hand side cushion to finish perfectly on this black into the left-hand top pocket. So he's just a few inches away, just a little stun in for a red into the opposite right-hand pocket. Played that nicely, and Wu is in again. He's like a machine at the moment. So he's right in amongst the balls, just sliding a red into the right-hand top pocket, perfectly on the high black. Just needs to pop this. Bounce the white on and off the top cushion for the next red into the same pocket, which he does. So, looks like a straightforward next couple of shots at least. So straight in that red. Now has the black into the opposite top pocket. Just hampered slightly by another red, but it should be no problem. So black goes down on and off the top cushion. Leaves himself with choice of reds, either a straightforward red into the left-hand top pocket or slightly harder one at the bottom of the bunch, but sensibly taking an easier red. And now he's left himself a low black into the right-hand top pocket. Probably going to go into the bunch here. If any of Wu's previous shots are anything to go by. Well, so this time electing to play for the loose red, so curious change of approach there. I'm not sure many other players would have played that, but anyway, he's on this red into the left-hand top pocket. Should be no problem. We're now 40 points in front. So he's got another red available at the bottom of the pack, so he could play this low to free some more up when pulling that red. What angles has he got? He looks like he's got a good angle, so he could nudge the reds here, or he could play up for the blue. Let's see what he goes for. Oh, so he's nailed that red in, caught the side of the pack, and has brought out 4 or 5 more reds into the open, so lovely shot from Wu there. And the whites come back up the table, just the wrong side of the blue, pink not available, so he'll have to go in and out of bulk in order to keep this break going. 48 points in front now. So blue powers in with blue into the right hand middle pocket. White coming back up. Has he judged the pace correctly though? And yes, he has. So now he gets his left hand out to stroke in this red into the right hand top pocket to leave himself on the black, which he does nicely. This is just, Wu's making this look very easy. Has a red now just below the black spot, which he slots in nicely. So nice straightforward red into the right hand top pocket, just stunning back up for another low black. Played beautifully. So 62 points in front now. Still 6 reds left, so not much more to do. Slots in the black. So it'll stun up for a gap between the pink and 2 other reds for another red into the right hand top pocket. Slots that in, and this time electing to go up for the blue. So that was frame ball. Higgins looking serious. Wu now probably just needs another red just to stop Higgins from coming back to the table. Slots in the pink and leaves himself, well, he's got a choice of 3 reds here. So it looks like it's game over in this frame for Higgins. And Wu slots in that red in the centre, so Wu is, well, I don't know if Wu's got a nickname yet. Maybe I'll have to think of one, but he's making this game look stupidly easy. So he's just firing in another red. Again, finishes perfectly on the black. So this is a fantastic one visit from Wu. Break goes to 91. Still 3 reds left. Slots another red into the left hand top pocket, coming up for the blue. So just 2 reds left below the pink. Wu on the right hand side, right side of the blue, just stuns that in, gives the tail a bit of a wipe. Don't know what sort of chalk he uses. I'd imagine it's the super no mark chalk, Towel chalk I think it is. So meanwhile we've got this black for a century, and in it goes. So Wu is positively running around this table now. I don't know what his shot time is. It must be, I don't know, Ronnie-esque at the moment. He's having absolutely no problem playing this game this morning or this afternoon, as it is in China. So he's tried to play on the yellow off 2 cushions from the black, but he's made a mess of it, and he's finished about half an inch from the yellow. So I'm not quite sure what he's going to do with this. He tries to play it down the table, and he's missed it. But fantastic break of 113 there from Wu. Ripple of applause from the crowd as they look up from their phones briefly. And Wu goes into a well-deserved 4-1 win, 4-1 lead. So, referee racking the balls up. So, Quite sure how many they play in this session. I think it's probably going to be 8, I would think. So there's still 3 frames left to go in this session. So it's quite a long match. So Higgins won't be panicking just yet. Players taking some water on board. Referee's racked the table up and has gone off to presumably do something with the scoreboard. We're sitting there very calmly. He must be thinking it's just a matter of time now until he gets his hands on that first ranking title that he's been very close to over the last year or two. Back comes the referee. So Higgins to break, puts the white between the green and the brown, playing down this right hand side of the table. Clips the end red, white comes back off 2 cushions and finishes an inch or so off the baulk cushion in between the yellow and the brown. So Wu straight down, no hesitation, electing to play the dump shot, which he does very nicely. Higgins near the jaw of the right hand top pocket. Not sure what he's got on here. There's the red that's gone up the baulk end, so he's probably going to have to play safe and bring the white back to the top end, which he tries to do. It's not bad, not particularly close to the top cushion, and he has left a red sticking out on the left hand side of the bunch, which I'm sure Wu will be tempted with. So you can either play it in the middle, or we can play it down the end into the left hand baulk pocket or yellow pocket. So he's going to go for this. He's jacked his cue up a bit, so he's trying to come back a little bit for the black. Tough shot, this one, and he's missed it. So just the red hits the jaw, comes back out, and what's he left? Higgins. Well, Higgins is straight down. Not sure what he's going to play here. Is he just going to play a safety shot onto the top cushion? Yeah. So nothing there for Higgins, so Higgins just plays safe. Wu comes back to the table. Looks like he went back to the 1980s for his haircut. Not entirely sure if that's the latest trend in China, but it's certainly unique. Almost Hendry-esque, some would say, from the early 90s, in fact. Classic mullet style. Anyway, Wu's probably just going to roll the white into the bunch, which he does. He might have left Higgins a chance at a red in the left centre, actually. That is a little bit careless from Wu. So I wonder if Higgins is going to take this on. In fact, I wouldn't say it was straightforward, but it's definitely something that you'd expect Higgins to knock in. He's just having a look to see what he's going to leave. Now he winds himself up for this red. White's very close to the red into this left hand centre pocket. And he just caught the near jaw and missed it. White's come off the top cushion. Well, I don't think he's left anything easy. There's a lot of reds around now in the middle of the table, but there's nothing obviously straightforward. Wu's on a line just below the black spot, maybe a few inches, or maybe a foot or so away from the left-hand side rail. Wu wandering around the table, chalks his cue, crouches down, again trying to see if there's a gap. Maybe there's a red that's just past that he might be able to get to. He's just seeing into the middle pocket, right hand middle pocket, but he has to negotiate the pink to get to it, and he's not entirely sure whether it's on or not. So looks like he's going to play safe. Yeah, just plays off a red and again plays the white onto the top cushion. Higgins scratching his head. So he could just nestle into the bunch. But it's a little bit dangerous because there is a red at the back of the pack, so instead deciding to come off the right hand side cushion and nestle into the side of the pack, which, well, so he's hit the reds, but has he left this red into the left hand top pocket? I don't think he has. Wu straight down, hits the red against the side cushion, leaves the white tight up against the top cushion. I don't know how long this is going to go on for. Lots of reds being popped out, so it's going to be one of these games where whoever makes the first mistake is probably going to lose this frame. Wu having a good look around to see what's available. So he's just going to get the white back on this top cushion again. The same shot as he did before, except on the other side. So hits the red against the side cushion to stun the white onto the top rail. Higgins just left with a roll up to the back of the pack. He plays nicely. Wu going to return back to the top cushion. So I'm not sure how long this is going to go on for actually, because there's no obvious reds to go at as they all get further and further up the table. Neither player's really got much of an option, so this could go on for a little bit of time. Wu's turn to put the white on the top cushion, which he does. Higgins has got no shot other than to roll up behind the reds again. So the reds now are sort of north of the pink spot. They keep nudging them ever further up the table. So Higgins again just plays into a cluster of reds. Referee frowning a bit here to see if there's a touching ball, which I don't think there is. So Wu just play off the side of this red and back onto the top cushion again, I would think. The choice of shots here. He's just going to play off one, bridging awkwardly, but again puts it near the top cushion. So as these reds get fanned out a bit more, it's going to be harder and harder for Higgins to roll up to balls from the top cushion. Wu seems to have the upper hand, I think, in this safety exchange at the moment. So what's Higgins going to play here? Looks like Higgins is winding himself up for an attempt on a red in the centre pocket, right hand centre pocket. Nope, instead he's played an excellent shot there. Got the white back onto the top rail. Got it absolutely glued. And now it's Wu's turn to play the roll-up shot into the back of the cluster of reds, but it's not an easy shot now because there isn't really much of a cluster left to roll into. There's a few reds close together, but they're beginning to spread out, so he's got to be careful if he is going to play that shot. So he's having a look, crouching down, quite sure what he's looking at. He's just going to dink this into the reds. Yes, he is. Well, now, is that safe? Wow, it looks like it might be. So the white is quite close to a red, and yeah, so well, there are other reds quite close to it, but Higgins just playing thin off a red again back to the top cushion. So now things are starting to get more difficult because there isn't really anything easy that Wu can roll up to, so this will need a bit more thought. You might, in fact, have to take on this red into the centre pocket. It's a massive shot though. I mean, these middle bags are hard at the best of times, but to play a pot from tight against the top rail, looks like a half ball into the middle. Oh, but he's got it. What a fantastic pot that was. I mean, that was a difficulty level of 9 out of 10, that one, and he's just slotted it in. So now he's finished above the blues, quite high on it, but fancy him to get this one, which he does. So Wu has got the first chance in this frame. So black's available, blue's available, green's, pink's tied up. Brown and green are next to each other near the yellow spot. Sorry, brown and yellow. And the green is on the baulk cushion. So really, he's only got the black and the blue to play on. So he's electing to play a long red into the baulk left-hand pocket. When he's missed. Well, yeah, that was a bit of a jab, really. I think compared to his other shots. Tried to pop the red and screw back for the black off the spot into the left-hand top pocket, but that must be the first ball he's missed in the frames that I've been watching this morning. So the white's finished on the right-hand side cushion, and I'm not sure if Higgins has got a shot. He might have a red in the centre, but it's very difficult. Oh, and he's potted it. Oh, that's a fantastic shot from Higgins. He's potted a red across the table into this left-hand middle bag and finished just grazing the black on the way past. And now he's perfect on the black off the spot. So Higgins has finally got a good chance. So he slots in the black. Red's all over the table. So this is the chance that Wu had, but I think Higgins is going to find it a little bit easier just to get into prime position after this red. She rolls across the table into the middle pocket and now finishes on the what must be the yellow off its spot for choice of 4, 5, 6 reds down that end of the table. So out comes the magic screw and extension. He's stretching a little bit to get to the white. Oh, actually he's got a long bridge to negotiate a red that's close to his bridge hand, so should be no problem as he slots in that yellow. I've just realised I haven't updated the graphic, because it still says mid-sesh, doesn't it? That's probably suboptimal. There we go. Meanwhile, Higgins slotted another red on a straightforward straight blue into the right hand middle pocket, and there's a red right next to the blue into the same pocket, so should be straightforward. Although he's got up again for some reason. Not quite sure what the issue was there, but he's back down again to play a straightforward. Oh well, and again, looks like he's being attacked by something. Anyway, third attempt to pop the straightforward blue, which he does. So Higgins 17 points to 6 in front in this frame. We'll pop the straightforward red and then maybe play for the yellow into the yellow pocket, which he does. Pots the yellow, nudges the red away from the yellow, which was next to it, and now leaves himself on a straightforward red into the opposite middle pocket, playing from near the yellow. Slots that in. So 21 points to 6 in front he is now. Higgins again not hanging about. Plenty of reds to play on. After all that early safety, pushed most of the reds into potable positions. So Higgins queuing up for this red into the left hand top pocket, off the side cushion onto the blue. Again, top side of the blue has a red, or maybe a choice of reds into either left hand or right hand top pockets, playing for the red just below the pink into the left hand top pocket, perfectly on it. So just a little stun shot down for the black. A bit straight on this black than he would have liked. Might have to just screw back for the red into the left hand centre. Well, he's not sure what to do here. I think he's only got one shot really. Well, so he decided to try and screw back onto the side cushion and back across the table for the red into the top right hand pocket rather than the left centre, and he's played it very nicely. So the red off near the pink spot into the right hand top pocket, slots that in. Now again, slightly straighter on the black than he would have liked, but I think he's got the angle to screw on and off. Well, he is dead straight in fact. So looks like he's got to play the red into the centre bag. Play the stun run through, and he's over hit it, has he? Yeah, he didn't play that very well. That's a bit of a careless shot from Higgins there. He won't be happy with that. That looked a relatively straightforward shot to run off two cushions onto the red in the right hand centre, but he's made a mess. So he's kicking himself there. So what's he going to do now? He could try and play the thin cut into the centre, or he's got a double, or he's got a long red into the yellow pocket. So looks like he's winding himself up for this thin cut into the right hand centre. Oh, and he's missed it. It was a tough shot. He didn't miss it by much, but he's let Wu back in, so Higgins shaking his head. So Higgins is 48 points to 6 in front, so he's got a 42 point lead, but there's still 75 on. So Wu can get back in this game. There's only one red that's a real problem, which is on the bolt cushion, so some work to do there. So we could elect to play that red next actually. So he's on the red, on the green rather, along the bolt cushion, which he slots in and leaves himself on that slightly difficult red along the bolt cushion into the left, the opposite bolt pocket, the left hand bolt pocket. And this needs some care and attention. It's quite close to the cushion. I'm not sure if it's glued, which means this is very missable. He slots it in, but he doesn't get off the cushion enough, and he's not really on anything, although he might have a chance of this brown into the centre. It's only about an inch away from the cue ball. It would seem he's got an easy snooker to play, but yeah, he's just going to try and dink this brown in. I'm not sure whether this is advisable. And he's missed it. He's missed it, and he's left Higgins in for what really must be a frame-winning chance. I think that brown was probably on, but it was a really tough shot. So 59 left, Higgins 37 in front. Slots in the red, finishes on choice of brown, blue or pink, or green in fact. So the one of the reds is in open play, the other two are close to cushions, so a little bit of work to do to negotiate the end of this frame. Just plays the blue to leave himself on that open red on the right hand side of the table into the right hand top pocket. So he's 43 in front. So this red will put him 44 in front with 43 on. So this will be a much needed frame for Higgins. If he can finish this frame off. Yeah, gets the red, and now Wu needs a snooker. So Wu had chances in this game, but for once he hasn't taken them. And if you don't take your chances against Higgins, then the inevitable happens. So Wu looks fairly not bothered about it. Higgins on a red into the right hand bolt pocket, the green pocket. Just needs to roll this in really, I think, just to make absolutely sure of this frame. No heroics needed. Gets the rest out, the extended rest. Yeah, just rolls it. Wow, he's missed it, can you believe it? He's missed a red and it can't have been more than, I don't know, 8 to 12 inches from the pocket. With the white 8 to 12 inches from the red. Oh, I can't believe he's missed it. And he's not even played it at pace. So we're not completely out of this game yet. He's just going to slot this red in that's hanging over the pocket. Tries to bring the white back down the table towards the black, which he's done. So now he needs a snooker. Is he going to keep the red on the table, or is he going to try and play for a snooker on the colours? So he slots in the black, and well, so it looks like he's going to try and play a snooker on this last red. The choice of ways he can play this, maybe try and get the white behind the black and send the red up the table, which is what he's done. So the red is clashed into the blue. The white didn't reach the black, but it might be a snooker behind the pink, although it's hard to see. Okay, so Higgins is having to bend it a little bit. Bend the white around the pink to get to this red in the bulk end, which he does. And the white's heading towards that pocket. Whoa, just stays out. Higgins must have been sweating a bit there. So Higgins 40 points in front with 35 on. Wu now trying to play safe again, so he's sent the white back down the table to try and get behind the black, but he's not reached it. So Higgins can hit this red. The brown's ended up right next to it, so probably get a snooker back here. Oh, he's not played that very well. So the red is near the yellow spot and white is near the jewels of the green pocket. So I'm not sure what Wu's going to do. He wants to send that red back up the table, but I think the pocket might be in the way, but anyway, might come off the other side instead, which he just misses the pot, and again he's a little bit short, and Higgins again can decide what he does next. Might be able to send the red up the table, or maybe get the white up behind the green. He's played a nice shot there, I think. If the white keeps rolling, he might have snookered Wu on this last red. Yeah, great shot from Higgins. So Wu now behind the green, glued to the bolt cushion. Plays a 2-cushion escape on the red. Hits it full ball. White comes back down the table, grazed the yellow, and has now offered itself for a pot into the left hand middle pocket. So Higgins just needs this red just to finish this frame off, and in it goes. So Higgins has stopped the rot. Now just 4-2 behind, but he's going to have to play a bit better, I think, to catch Wu. I mean, he's got to win the scrappy games, there's no doubt about that. But Higgins needs to score when he's in he's got any chance of beating Wu in this match, and Wu concedes, so Higgins walks off, and that's the end of this stream, as I've now got to go and walk the dog. So thank you for listening.